YouTube. I'm here today, right now, to do a book haul. It seems like I've been buying hundreds of books lately. I've been just in the mood to read. So this video might be a little bit long because I'll just kind of read briefly what's on the back of each book, because I'm one of those people who, if the cover catches me, I grab the book even though I don't even know what the book's about sometimes. But it might take a minute, so get a cup of coffee. I'm gonna start out with what I'm reading right now on my Kindle, if I can get to it. Okay, I'm reading a book called More Than This by Patrick Ness. Okay, sorry. So I'm reading a book by Patrick Ness, and it's called More Than This. So far so good. This book was about this boy who drowned, actually, and when he woke up he was in a world that he thought was hell. And it's about, you know, him trying to survive and basically get his life together, figure out where he is, figure out what's going on, and then some surprising things happen throughout the book. Like I said, so far so good. I'm like almost halfway through the book now. It's been holding my attention, which is a good thing. Sorry. My next book, well, the next set of books, well, I'll do this. The next one book I just got from the library yesterday, and it's called Horror Store. This book is by Grady Hendrix, and as you can see, this book looks like an IKEA catalog, and it's a story about a store that's somewhat like IKEA, but it's supposed to be a made-up store. And all these strange things are happening in the store after the store closes, and when the staff comes in the next day, they find things broken and things like that. And they want to hang out one night to see what's going on in the store. So this is, I think, a good book to read for Halloween, because, you know, I like scary stories. So we'll see how this one is. Okay, so the next set of books I bought today when we went to the Goodwill. The first one is called The Ghosts of Richmond by L.B. Taylor Jr. This is an old book. It just actually grabbed my attention because it's an old looking book. And it just has different stories about different ghosts in different areas of Richmond. And this is another good book. It's falling apart, y'all. I mean, like, it's just coming apart and everything, if you can see right here. But this is another good thing, I think, that's going to be good to read for Halloween. Something spooky at night. I'm a horror buff, so it's probably not going to scare me. Somebody's name is written on this book. This is a book called Hoot by Carl Hiaasen. I'm hoping I say the name right. I've just been seeing this book everywhere. I have no idea what this book is about. I'm going to tell you the truth. But the cover caught my attention. Like I said, if I see a cover that looks interesting, then I'll read it. And I don't see an explanation of the book. So maybe I can do a review of this book after I read it, because I haven't the foggiest idea what this book is about. Hoot. The next book is by Meg Cabot. It's called Insatiable. And I actually got this because I wanted to read a book by Meg Cabot, and this is the one they had at the thrift store. All their paperback books were 50 cents. So I thought I would go ahead and try it, because if I don't like it, I didn't really lose much. And I'm going to read what it says on the back. Mina Harper is familiar with the supernatural. After all, she knows how you're going to die. Not that you're going to believe her, no one does, but not even Mina's precognition can prepare her for Lucian Antonescu, whom she meets and then makes the mistake of falling in love with a modern day prince with a bit of dark side, for which an ancient society of vampire hunters would prefer to see him dead. When I when I hear the word vampire, I get a little bit nervous because I'm not a big vampire buff, but I am going to give this book a try. I heard that Meg Cabot writes excellent books, so I'm going to give it the good old college try and try and read this, how many, 400 and looks like 50 page book, 50 cents. So if I don't like it, like I said, I didn't lose anything. The next book is by Stephen L. Carter called Jericho's Fall. Okay, in reading on the back, it says, in a secluded mountain retreat, Jericho Ainsley, former CIA director and former Secretary of Defense, is dying of cancer. To his bedside, he has called Rebecca DeFord, a young single mother who was once his lover. Instead of simply bidding farewell, however, Ainsley imparts an explosive secret, and DeFord finds herself thrown into a world of international intrigue involving ex-CIA executives, local police, private investigators, and even a U.S. senator. With no one to trust, DeFord is suddenly on the run, relying on her own wits and the lessons she learned from Ainsley to stay alive. I love these on-the-run books. I don't necessarily like government stuff or political, but you know, she's on the run to stay alive. I think this is going to be interesting. I think it'll hold my attention because it seems like it's going to be action-packed. So we're going to try that. Look at this big hunker. And if it's a hunker like this in paperback, imagine the hardback copy. It's called The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. It says, a tiny girl is abandoned on a ship headed for Australia in 1913. She arrives completely alone with nothing but a small suitcase containing a few clothes and a single book, a beautiful volume of fairy tales. She is taken in by the dockmaster and his wife and raised as their own. On her 21st birthday, they tell her the truth, and with her sense of self shattered and very little to go on, Nell sets out to trace her real identity. Her quest leads her to Blackhurst Manor on the Cornish coast and the secrets of the doomed Mount Ratchet family. Mount Ratchet. But it is not until her granddaughter Cassandra takes up the search after Nell's death that all the pieces of the puzzle are assembled. A spellbinding tale of mystery and self-discovery. The Forgotten Garden will take hold of your imagination and never let go. So, yes, I love a mystery. I'm going to give that a try. We'll see. Okay, don't laugh. 50 cents. I'm going to see what this book says. I had it in hardback. Hardback was $2.50. They had this one in paperback for 50 cents, so I'm just going to flip through it. Everybody's heard of the South Beach Diet. I don't have anything else to say about it. Okay, and this next book is a New York Times bestseller by Anita Diamant, I think. Diamant, I hope I'm saying it right. I know I'm probably not saying it right. It's called The Red Tent. The blurb on the back says her name is Dinah. In the Bible, her life is only hinted at in a brief and violent detour within the more familiar chapters about her father Jacob and his dozen sons in the book of Genesis. Told in Dinah's voice, the novel reveals the traditions and turmoils of ancient womanhood, the world of the Red Tent. It begins with the story of her mothers, Leah, Rachel, Zilpah, and I cannot pronounce biblical names, Bilhah, the four wives of Jacob. They love Dinah and give her gifts that are to sustain her through a hard-working youth, a call to midwifery, and a new home in a foreign land. Dinah's story reaches out from a remarkable period of early history and creates an intimate, immediate connection. Deeply affecting, The Red Tent combines rich storytelling with a valuable achievement in modern fiction, a new view of Biblical Women's Society. So I would actually love to read about, I actually do like to dig into reading about different women of the Bible. So this seems like it's going to be interesting to me. I'm kind of anxious to read that. That might be the next book I pick up. My last thrift store book is actually, it's a Stephen King novel called Rose Madder. I was looking for The Shining like nobody's business because I want to actually read it because I heard it's better than the movie. But Rose Madder I also did see as a movie, and it was good. So we'll see how this one does. I'm sorry, all the pauses. Well, no, actually I didn't see Rose Madder. I saw something called Rose Red. Roused by a single drop of blood on the bed sheet, Rosie Daniels wakes up from 14 years of a nightmare marriage and suddenly takes flight. She uses her husband's ATM card to buy a bus ticket, determined to lose herself in a place where Norman won't find her. She'll worry about the rest later. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, that's it for the thrift store Goodwill books. This next chunk of books I got from this website called Book Outlet, where they have great prices on hardback and paperback books. The first one I got is called 1,000 Unforgettable Senior Moments, which I'm having right now. But it's just like several little stories of people's incidents with having those senior moments. So we'll see how I like that. The next book is called Please Ignore Vera Dietz by A.S. King. Okay, and the front flap says, is it okay to hate a dead kid? Even if I loved him once, even if he was my best friend, is it okay to hate him for being dead? Vera spent her whole life secretly in love with her best friend, Charlie Kahn. And over the years, she's kept a lot of his secrets, even after he betrayed her, even after he ruined everything. So when Charlie dies in dark circumstances, Vera knows a lot more than anyone. The kids at school, his family, even the police. But will she emerge to clear his name? Does she even want to? Edgy and gripping, Please Ignore Vera Dietz is an unforgettable novel. Smart, funny, dramatic, and always surprising. That sounds like it's going to be interesting. Okay, the next book I got is called The Devil's Storybooks by Natalie Babbitt. 20 Delightfully Wicked Stories. Again, I got this one because Halloween was coming. So, and I like compilation books with different stories on a subject. So I can't wait. I'm going to put all those Halloween type books together and try to get those done before the end of October. Next, I have a book called The Good Life for Last by Amy Allen Clark. I'm always trying to find more frugal ways of getting along in this expensive world. So that should be of some help to me, hopefully. A lot of these books that I got from Book Outlet are young adult books. And I picked up a lot of young adult books because I was trying to find something that was going to try to take my mind off of all these adult issues and stresses and stuff. And I like to read these books because it does kind of take me away from that briefly. But this one is called So Not Okay, Mean Girl Makeover by Nancy Rue. The blurb on the back says, according to the Ambassadors for Kids Club, 1 out of 4 students is bullied at school, and 85% of these situations never receive intervention. Parents, teachers, and students everywhere are joining forces like never before to solve this problem for a new generation of kids. And I'm actually a school nurse, so I see a lot of situations with bullying. So this book is very, very interesting to me. I would love to see how they tackle the subject of bullying in this book. And maybe it's some things that I can take away from this book that'll help at school. I don't think I even have to say anything about this. I am the #1 procrastinator. I need this. This book is by Rita Emmett, The Procrastinator's Handbook, Mastering the Art of Doing It Now. I need to master that. And also, just like I said, I'm a nurse. So I just got this book, Everyone's Guide to Cancer Supportive Care by Ernest H. Rosenbaum, MD, and Isadora Rosenbaum. I just wanted to have this as like a reference for how to deal with people who may be going through cancer. I just feel like it'll give me some tips to make me a better nurse, just in case I ever have to work with cancer patients. I think that's a good reference to have. This next book, I'm sorry, I'm just sitting here looking at it. It's called Anatomy of a Single Girl. And it's by author Daria Sinadowski. On the back it says, if only love came with a warning label. After everything that happened, my first boyfriend, my first time, my first breakup, jumping back into the dating game seemed like the least healthy thing I could do. It's not that I didn't want to fall in love again, since that's about the best feeling ever, but as a busy college pre-med is still raw from heartbreak, which is the worst feeling ever, I figured I'd lie low for a while. I don't know if I'm gonna like this book. The moment we got together, all my preconceptions about romance and sex were turned upside down. I'm going to give this the 50-page test. If within the first 50 pages this book does not catch my attention, this book is going somewhere. Maybe I'll put it under my camera. Next book is by Laura Buzo called Love and Other Perishable Items. The blurb on the back says, I'm not even sure what getting Chris would involve. All I know is I want him. Smart, honest, and full of achingly real characters, and it made me laugh. What else would you want a book to do? That sounds like it might be a little bit interesting. Love story. We'll see. I also have a book called Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac by Gabrielle Zevin. This is an older book. I think it was published in like 2005. The blurb says, if Naomi had picked tails, she would have won the coin toss. She wouldn't have had to go back for the yearbook camera, and she wouldn't have hit her head on the steps. She wouldn't have woken up in the ambulance with amnesia. She certainly wouldn't have remembered her boyfriend Ace. She might even have remembered why she fell in love with him in the first place. She would understand why her best friend Will keeps calling her Chief. She'd get all his inside jokes, and maybe she wouldn't be so frustrated with her for forgetting the things. What? She'd get all his inside jokes, and maybe he wouldn't be so frustrated with her for forgetting things that she can't possibly remember. She'd know about her mom's new family. She'd know about her dad's fiance. She wouldn't have to spend her junior year relearning all the French she supposedly already knew. She never would have met James, the boy with the questionable past and even fuzzier future, who tells her once he wanted to kiss her. She wouldn't have wanted to kiss him back, but Naomi picks heads. So I'm dying to read this book. It sounds like it's going to be a page turner. I also read another book by Gabrielle Zevin called Elsewhere. The book was about a 15-year-old girl who got hit by a car and she died. And when she woke up, she was on this boat that took her to a place called Elsewhere. If I find a... Okay, so sorry, my camera cut off. Like I was saying, I'll put a clip of the book Elsewhere in the video if I can find a good picture of it. But it was very good. She her name was Liz. She had to basically learn how to live in this place called Elsewhere. She had to get over the fact that she was dead first. Then she learned how to get along in a place where they age backward all the way until they're a baby, and then they're sent down the river to be born into a new family. That book was really, really good. And I'm not going to get too much into it because I think you should read it. I mean, it's one of those ones that take you away from everything and you can't wait to get back to it and read it. So if I find the clip, I'll put it in there. The second to the last book is called We Sinners by Hannah Pilvainen. I could not get into this book whatsoever. This book was about a family who was like deeply, deeply religious, and about the children who were basically striking out against the religion, the family religion. And I did the 50-page test on this, and they hadn't even gotten into the children rebelling. So I put the book down because it was too slow to hold my attention. Yeah, I might try to pick it back up, but it just didn't do it for me. And my last book is by Amanda Maceo called Tease. It says, I hope it's not wearing you out. Tease masterfully shows when it comes to bullying, nothing is black and white. No side of the story is only one side. Is the only side of the story, and there are no winners. Amanda Maceo's grasp, blah 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 blah. That's just somebody's review. But this was about a girl who, it's about the point of view of the bully who bullied a girl so much that she actually committed suicide. So this book is basically telling the story of the bully, and I can't wait to get into this book. And that is it. I am so sorry that this video is so long, but I have 100 books to read, as you all can see. Like I said, this is a stress relief for me, and I used to love to read as a teenager and a younger kid, and I want to get back into it. I feel like not only does it relieve your stress, it helps tremendously with the vocabulary, which for me with the fibromyalgia, my vocabulary seems to be shrinking. So I'm going to be reading some books. Thank you for watching this long video if you made it through the whole video. I probably have some more hauls coming up, but I'm so tired now. I'm done. Thanks for watching. Bye.